I am invincible! You are nothing before the staff of origination!
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Neonangel, and today we're going to be facing Chieftain Scarvash. He is the first boss in the second wing of League of Explorers, and his special power is it switches back and forth between Trog hates spells and Trog hates minions. And whenever it does this, it makes either your spells or your minions all cost 11. So you can only use like even cost minions and odd cost spells. So it makes it really difficult to sort of plan out everything ahead of time. His special minions that he has, just a couple of Trogs in there, 2/6, 4/6, and a 6/6. So he's got some big guys that you got to watch out for. Now the deck that I used on this one is basically just a modified Dragon Priest deck. Probably the most important cards in it are going to be Potion of Madness and Duskbreaker. And the reason for this is because he starts off with 2 Trogs on his side of the board. So basically any spell that you play is going to make them larger. It's hard to get rid of them quickly, and also they can just overrun you very fast. You'll usually be dead within, 4 to 5 turns maybe. So it's very important to have those cards right there. We'll go ahead and get started and see how we do here. It is a very, very tough encounter. And I'll tell you right now, you definitely want to have at least a 2-drop in your starting hand. It doesn't really matter which 2-drop it is. You've just got to have something to be able to put out there. Now, ideally, you would love to start with a Potion of Madness and also have a Duskbreaker as well. That way you can go ahead and get the Stone Splinter Trog here from the Potion of Madness right away. And then by the time you hit turn 4, you can Duskbreaker and hopefully clear the board with that. And I didn't have anything for the first turn on that one, but I did have the gastropod there for the second turn, which he of course killed immediately, which he'll usually do. But again, it's either causing him to lose a minion or one of his removal spells, and he has a ton of removal spells. So it was a great draw getting the Potion of Madness there, because I was just able to run the Stone Splinters into each other. Even though it made the Burly Rock Draw Trog bigger, at least it was I just have one to deal with now. And he has to use a removal here because, see, there goes his Crackle. He nearly always high rolls on any of his removal like that as well. So he's always hitting like 5s and 6 with the Crackles. Also the Fire Guard Destroyers that he has, they're nearly always 6, 7s right off the bat. Now the secret that he has there is Dart Trap. I usually like to go ahead and try and get rid of it before I have minions on the board, so it's not going to hit any of them, but sometimes you can't always do that. I'm going to go ahead and do it now. Even if he gets hit, then it's not going to kill him. Now his minion can kill it now, but still it didn't hit me at least. And my health is actually pretty good for a shaky start there. The big thing I think is surviving those initial few turns. If you can get rid of the initial Trogs that he puts out, then you can try establishing a board and protecting that. But it's really hard to get past that initial first part just because of him starting with them already on the board. So you've already got 5 damage against you every single turn from the very start. And any spells you cast are going to make it even worse. And he just has a ton of removal. So anything you can cast at that time is almost certainly going to die. See, this is a really bad board for me right now. Even though I'm back to full health, I'm not going to stay that way for very long with all of these minions after me. Right here, I can hope to try and delay him enough to where I can use the Potion of Madness on something. We'll see what happens. It is certainly not looking good for me here, but I've got a couple of spells that I can use here, and I think I can actually clear the board and start working my way back up, hopefully. Yeah, so I cleared everything, but now I have nothing on the board, so I need something pretty quick. And that was a perfect draw right there. Because I'm really low on health, so I need absolutely all I can get. Now, of course, he draws a removal. Of course he does. This is what always happens with him. The problem is that he just has so much removal that he nearly always has some in his hand. Now, at least the good thing here is that he can't outright kill the Drake right away. And if I heal it here, he's not going to be able to kill it next turn either. Now I can go ahead and clear his side of the board, but it kills my Drake as well. It just depends. You know, if he had removal, you know, if he drew removal there, it would have been a problem for me, I guess. And I suppose I could have ignored that minion there, but I don't want to leave anything on the board. And he'll inevitably always draw these Keepers of Uldaman late in the game and change your biggest minion into this 3/3. It's absolutely frustrating. Now, thankfully, he just went ahead and played his other keeper right there without anything to target. So I've got them out of the way anyway. Now let's see if he rolls high on this one. Of course! Just like I told you, 6s, 7s, never fails. Probably as good a time as any to play Anduin. And I wanted it to go ahead and hit me there because I've got enough health and didn't really want it to kill one of my minions. Now I can finally start damaging him. Now I should be able to kill him next turn unless something goes wrong here. And that right there is going to be the end of Chieftain Scarvash. It is not an easy fight, and it's not short either. As you saw, you're spending the whole start of it just getting down that initial wave and then trying to establish yourself. But the problem is that you can't consistently play minions. You've got to wait every other turn, so he has so much removal, he'll just take care of your minions, and then you've got to wait, you know, an extra turn before you can start putting any other defenses out. So it's very, very challenging. And whenever he uses Confuse here in the beginning, you're dead within like 2-3 turns. So that's really tough right there. So that one was a quick loss. So I've got a decent start here. I've got a 2-drop and I've got a Duskbreaker, which is really what you want to see. So here comes another win. And of course, he just drew a ton of direct damage and got big minions. After it even looked like I was starting to make some headway there, he was still able to just destroy me. And you will have a lot of games like that. This is probably one of the most frustrating fights because it was nearly impossible to find something consistent to beat him with. And it really is the luck of the draw with this fight, probably worse than any of the other ones that I've done. So don't expect to win this one just right on your first run. It's probably going to take you several tries, and if you don't get a 2-drop in your opening hand, then you just need to go ahead and restart because you have pretty much no chance. And there's another win. As you can see, I've just been going back and forth, back and forth. Not much that I could do about that. So we're 3-3 right now. Now, normally this would be the point where I would really go back and reevaluate a deck, but I've done a lot of testing again on this and made a lot of different changes. I had some people, well, a lot of people actually telling me that I should be using Doomsayers in this. And I tested a lot with those, and it was pretty much a terrible idea. Because almost always when you would put a Doomsayer out, he would confuse. And it just automatically killed the Doomsayer and made his guys huge. So it like really forced his hand to go ahead and use that if he had it. And even if he didn't have the confuse, 9 out of 10 times he could kill the Doomsayer. So it was pretty pointless to play that. That's why I chose to go with some small taunt minions. So it would force him to waste one of his crackles or lightning bolts or, you know, another big spell or something on a small minion, or he would have to choose to run one of his minions into it. So that worked out a lot better than trying the Doomsayers. The Doomsayers just did not work. Looks like this one is going to be a win here. Thank goodness, because I want to get through with this. I love getting the Potion of Madness. Like I mentioned in the very beginning, it's just such a strong card for this. It's about the only way to clear out those trogs quickly from the beginning. It also comes in handy later for those for the chasing trogs right there that's out right now. He just has so many spells. It's ridiculous. And I'm so low on life here. I can't even really heal up for fear of killing myself with a dart trap. I just sort of have to hope and pray at this point. And that worked out well. Now oh well, there comes the other dart trap. I was going to say, now I can really start healing again. But it's not going to matter because he's going to be dead. So finally, made it through 5 games with him. Well, more than 5, but I won 5 games against him there. And as you saw, it is just a really tough fight. Really a big challenge. And like I've been saying this whole time, you just have to get the right cards. It is the luck of the draw, and he is an extremely tough encounter. But make sure you've got a 2-drop in your hand and hopefully one of the Dusk Breakers, and you should be able to get him. So hang in there, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.